joining me today are two actors who are here to dare to scare. I have with me the inimitable Emraan Hashmi, and joining him today is Nikita Dutta, and we're going to be talking about Dybbuk. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes. You can say it any way you like. It took me a couple of months to get it right.
I don't want to mess with it.
Some people say Dybbuk, some people say I call it Dybbuk.
I got
Dybbuk.
one as Dybbuk.
Dybbuk.
Yeah. So
that's really messing it up.
Dybbuk.
Quite messed up.
Yeah, I don't like the word die in the title, got to confess.
Yeah.
You know what would really help, and actually I'm going to suggest this, to keep the meaning down. Like, you know, you have a title and you also have this.
Yes, I
like
would like
Dybbuk.
that.
Bad title as in the ghost. Because it is a
ghost
spirit.
Or is it the box?
No, it's a spirit.
Oh, Dybbuk is the spirit.
The box is a Dybbuk box.
Alright, so the ghost is stored in this box.
Yes.
Yes.
What's stored in it, you'll find out in the film.
It's a malicious ghost, I know that.
I didn't say, she said the ghost in the box.
You know, and you guys can watch that in the trailer. It is, of course, a ghost that has been in hibernation for some time, I think. I'm speculating here. And I think the ghost enters none other than Nikita. Am I right?
I mean,
I'm close. I'm close.
Let's say it that way. You're close.
I'm pretty close, yes. And, you know, and I think Emraan will be the one victorious in eliminating ghosts. He's done that before.
She's got the entire film. She's given off the entire film to the audience. Now no one's going to watch the film.
No, but we like watching you in horror films, you know. You're in
your
element.
That's kind of a predictable theme that you said, which is great. And generally people assume horror films would be that. But what has drawn me to this film is the fact that it's the certain unpredictability about it. You would imagine that it is the traditional, the boy-girl go and move into a house and then strange things start happening. It's kind of that for the first 10 minutes. But the rest of the film takes you into unexplored territory, which I love.
Okay, so you're saying it doesn't play by the rules. It doesn't go by the book.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it doesn't go by the book.
I quite like that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one.
So it doesn't go by the book, and it's. I think that's the recipe for any good horror film, is to keep it unpredictable and something that people don't expect, and away from horror cliches.
You know, for me, I scare very easily. I don't think that's true for you. No, very easily. You?
I'm very stoic when I watch a horror film. Like, my wife would be hiding behind the sofa.
Yeah.
I have friends, and they're guys who probably would do the same thing, but I'm extremely like poker faced when I'm watching a horror film, because I've been watching them since I was 7 or 8.
So you don't
horror
scared.
films.
Which was last time you were genuinely scared?
Genuinely scared? I would say the only film I was genuinely scared was when I was 13, when I saw The Exorcist for the first time. I was warned by, and that back in the day, I'm sure you already don't know the concept of VHS tapes. So we used to rent out. Yeah, exactly. A millennial will never know what a VHS tape is.
Oh, right,
you guys are so used to
yes.
Amazon and Netflix and stuff.
Vintage tapes.
So it's So it's the VHS tape on which I saw it, and I didn't get good sleep for the next 2 months, 3 months. Yeah.
What about you, Nikita? Do you scare yourself?
No, I'm very scared of watching horror films. In fact, I think this is one of the rare horror films I had to watch because I was doing the film, of course. But apart from that, I can count on my fingertips. Maybe 1 or 2 films is all I've seen. And in fact, you know, when we used to be shooting when we were shooting this film, and these guys used to be talking about references that, oh, have you seen this film and have you seen that? I used to be completely blank. Like, absolutely blank, like, okay, I don't know anything about this genre.
Alright, but
you know, day after we have to talk about breaking down horror films, right?
Yes.
You better be prepared.
Don't worry. I'm at it. I'm doing a lot of homework.
So now you're up to speed with all the references.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, when it comes to horror films, I like watching, after watching them, I like researching about them to find out if anything eerie happened on sets, because a lot of times that happens, right?
I do that.
You know, and I like finding out the trivia about it. So did something like mysterious happen on these sets too?
Apart from there were strange noises in my room when I used to go back to sleep, I think the house that we were shooting in, there was something eerie about it. I don't know if it was given away too much for film shoots. There was a history behind that house, a very old house, I believe, almost 150 years old, 100 years old. Owned by a Britisher, right? Yeah. And it just,
very
when you
house,
just move to the driveway and get into that the vicinity, it just looks like it's meant to, you know, you're supposed to shoot a horror film here. It just felt like this is
Yeah, it is
tailor-made
meant,
for a
yeah.
horror film.
I think
And
worse was
a
when
bit
we used to
eerie.
be doing night shifts over there, and the entire walk from our vanity vans to get inside the house where I used to be shooting, very scary. Like I never did it alone. I always wanted 2-3 people next to me to accompany.
On a horror film, I think it's only natural to kind of want to scare your co-star. I think I would have tried if there was such a lonely
Someone
walk.
like her, she'll get a heart attack.
I
Sorry, so
really would have.
spooked
Okay,
out.
Would have.
okay.
You know, in fact, there were a couple of times. So somebody had scared me that 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning is your devil's hour. So a lot
3:13 or something.
something
it
like
comes
that.
yeah.
So a lot of time when you used to be shooting a night shift, and say if I've packed up at around 2:30 or something, I know when I go back to the hotel, I am going to be during the devil's hour. I'm going to be walking back alone to my room. So I used to try and pack up either before, or I would spend some extra time on set. So I cross the devil hour and then go back.
All right, I think it's like only the paranoid will survive, right? So I think you did well.
Possibly.
I'm the guy who dies first in the film.
No, you're not.
Generally, the guy who cracks jokes about
Yeah, yeah,
ghosts
the
and is
joke.
not
Yeah, yeah,
scared is
yeah.
the guy who goes first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one who doesn't believe
Yeah,
in
doesn't
it.
believe, yeah.
And then it's always
She's
the
the one who
final
survives
girl.
at the end.
I'm the
Final
one who's
girl.
going to
She
be
comes
scared
out from the
throughout.
climax,
I'm
yeah.
the one who's going to be scared throughout.
Yeah,
And
she'll be
she's
scared throughout, but
also-
she won't die.
I don't think
She
she
won't
will.
die. That's
She's
a recipe
also
for any horror
pregnant in
film.
the film.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think she'll die. Yeah.
You're just writing a plot of a new horror.
No, generally horror films have these trappings, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the
Generally,
final girl trope.
yeah, but the female protagonist generally gets
Yeah.
out alive.
Yeah.
It's very unfair with men, and men end up
And
dying
usually
midway
the,
through
he's the
or
bad
in the
guy.
beginning.
Yeah, he's usually the guy like you're seeing, or your husband is usually the bad guy in
Yeah,
the film.
and he's
So-
done something wrong.
Yes, in his
and that's
past.
why the spirit comes
Exactly,
back
yeah,
to kind of haunt.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
The wife has to pay
Quite
that.
an insight.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
And that is very true. That's like a combination
Yeah.
of tropes, and I like that in a horror film. You know, I like something new, but also like some of the regular trappings of the genre. So it's
Yeah.
a comforting watch. Would you agree?
It is comforting in the sense that if it is for me, I don't know for a whole lot of people like her and a lot of people that I know.
No, not a
it's
comforting
very
watch.
discomforting, and it's just it just makes a person uneasy for the next couple of days. It's a film that stays with you because it works on your imagination, and it depends on how it's made. I mean, it is the usual cliched film. They will still get scared, but if it breaks the mold and if it does something really out of the box, then it's even more spooky. But there's something, yeah, like you said, there's something comforting about and thrilling at the same time. You're seeing these ghastly acts on screen, but you're in the comfort of a living room or in the theater. And I remember we were speaking about this earlier when I went for The Ring. There was such a visceral experience in the cinema hall. It was almost like a cricket match. Everyone was so engaged with what was happening on the screen and yelling. It just was unlike anything I had seen before.
You really can't replicate that. And I have to say, Ek Thi Dayan as well came out maybe
2011?
11,
No.
10 years ago perhaps.
Yeah. No, it was actually Raz.
12 or 13 if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
2013 maybe.
13, yeah.
It was after Raz 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it was maybe the next year.
And
they came out
I
with
saw
it.
that in the theater, and I felt that aura in the theater as well.
Yeah.
You know, because I like the whole folklore of it
Yeah, yeah.
and all of it. And I think you're very memorable in the horror genre, but actually you haven't done so many horror films. You've done Raz, you've done
This is my
Ek Thi
fourth
Dayan.
one, I think.
The fourth one,
Yeah.
exactly. And you know,
My
but-
first film that I assisted on was also a horror film. So I started off from assisting in a horror film. That was the first Raz. So then I ended up doing the second one, the third one,
The reboot,
and
yes.
Ek Thi Dayan. But I think what works for that film was that again broke the mold and did something very different with the horror genre.
And,
That's
and
why
also
it
very
works.
lasting, right?
Yeah.
Like the lift that goes to
Yeah.
hell.
Oh, Konkana was
and-
frightening.
oh,
I
she
mean,
was
I had
excellent.
read the script, but when I saw the film, it just gave me chills the way she had performed.
Absolutely,
you know, it's
absolutely.
very chilling.
One of my favorite horror films in Hindi cinema recently. And you know, Nikita, I have to ask you. You know, now for the straight talk, are the rumors true? Is Emraan actually a gentleman on sets?
How are
I've
the
heard
rumors?
he's a thorough. I've heard he's a thorough gentleman on
He
the
is,
set.
he is.
He is.
He's
Absolutely.
quite. So the funny thing with Emraan is that I did not have any preconceived notion when I met him
How
the
dare
first
you.
time. I didn't.
No,
Okay.
none.
Because
Generally,
you know,
people have
generally,
preconceived
yeah,
notions
if
about
you
me.
see,
Good
there's
ones,
nothing
good
much about him in the media of how he is and stuff.
Nothing.
But you
So-
don't take up from the films? Like
Why would I
he's the
do that?
most I don't know.
That's
Mysterious
not-
person.
He'd be responsible for some of the most ghastly acts on screen,
No,
and
so
probably that's how he is.
that's for
Uncouth.
people who watch your films and who come to know I'm doing. a
But
film
you've seen
with
my
you.
films before.
Of course, I've seen
Yeah,
your
right.
films.
So you didn't like that. didn't make an impression.
No,
Like, that's
I was not
probably
allowed
his.
to watch some of your films.
But you still watch them?
But I still did.
Yeah, away from the parents. Yeah.
So I'd gone without any preconceived notions, and I think probably the first time only we were on set doing a scene, it started off quite well. Like he's quite cooperative and he's quite sweet like that. Yeah,
I was.
He doesn't. One really nice thing
Doesn't
about him
interfere.
is he doesn't interfere. He
Well
doesn't
said,
throw a tantrum.
Nikita, that's
nothing.
it.
Nothing at all.
You know, that's
Which is a really good thing because
I just
generally
threw a
that's
tantrum
something
before you came
wouldn't-
right now.
That I know. That's
Yeah,
because I came a little late, so
I
he's
just
thrown
threw
a tantrum.
But having said that about the first day, I was frightened on the first day because I don't give too much away. But it was like Jay threw us into the deep sea, right?
That was the second day actually.
I shouldn't say this right now because then it'll become about that.
Don't.
They love it. She will stretch the topic endlessly, but I won't talk about it.
It's going to come there.
But let's just say that the director threw both of us into the deep sea on the second day.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
There was no
alright.
breaking the ice.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So I
this
can
is-
And
understand.
Hold us off the cliff.
Twice
It's like, now
before
go,
that.
do it.
Yeah, and I met him only twice before that.
Oh, so clearly
So-
this is like an
This
intimate
was
scene
just
twice,
that you
very
told
twice.
I'm talking about the flight as well.
Flight.
So flight and one day
Oh.
on set and second day, here,
Yeah.
go swim.
Oops. So you guys got to know each other very intimately in the first 2 days.
No, I was intimidated by her.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been away from this for the longest time. Not had too much net practice. And she was super confident.
Not at
I was
all.
super, I was
Not
super,
at all.
I was super shy. And I was getting the
Prepared
jitters.
really well. You
I was
prepared
getting
really well.
jitters.
You know, he was like one of the first to kiss
like
on
this.
screen, and then after that, the other heroes started doing it, and Emraan stopped. You know, I think it's been quite
Yeah,
some
yeah,
time
yeah,
since
yeah.
I
No,
saw him
no, no.
in that whole.
I haven't
like,
stopped.
You
I did it in my
haven't
last film. I've done my last film.
In,
If I had my way, I would have stopped a long time back. But I
Oh, but
keep
the
getting
ship
these
demands
keep
it.
getting these suggestions from my heroines.
Oh dear God.
But he does, you know, embody that work, calm, say calm sort of
Yes,
thing.
he
Isn't
definitely
that
does.
true?
Yes,
That's what
yes,
everyone
he does.
says about him.
But that
for
is
sure.
true. Like you realize that once you're on set,
Yeah.
like the moment you've packed up, Imran's in his own world. Yeah, and the moment he's on set again, okay, he's right there. So it's like very to the point, which I really like. Like it's not.
And
going,
he's so different from like the usual industry people or
That
the
is true.
actors,
That is
despite
true.
being from it. You know, Emraan, but I want to ask you this, and I really want to know, in all these years, what do you think has kind of Bollywoodized you? What is
Nothing.
your most
I'm not
Bollywood
Bollywoodized
aspect?
at
Not
all.
at all?
No, I'm not.
Still not
at all.
fitting into
the
the
only thing
mold?
that there are no trappings that I probably give into
Hmm.
or I'm part of. I just treat it like a profession.
Hmm.
I don't take fame very seriously. It's not. I wouldn't prescribe it to anyone. Fame has its. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. There's some great things about fame, but also there's some things that are not as good. Yeah. So it has its pitfalls. But I was never quote unquote a filmy guy, although I was from a film family. I am from a film family. But I was always, my side of the family was always away from that. And when I got into it, I gave into the trappings for a bit because I felt that this is textbook, this is what should be done. But then I realized that if I want to keep my sanity in this place and keep a sense of who I am, I must detach at some point. So I do detach from it
And I
because
think
I
you've
cherish my
succeeded.
life away from it. It's not a source of identity beyond a point.
And I
I'm
think-
I'm a professional actor, but that's not something I take back home.
One of the most private actors who's managed to keep his life under wraps, and even his films are very unfilmy, you know. Every
Yeah, they're
film
kind of
yours.
different from the
That's how you
traditional
put it.
stuff.
Very,
yeah.
very.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought, considering I've got Emraan with me, I am going to
Rapid
you know,
fire?
yeah, because you watch
you don't have
horror
your phone
films.
right now.
Because you watch horror
Yeah,
films.
yeah,
Nothing about
yeah.
your favorite ice cream or anything.
Okay, okay.
This is about horror
I would
films.
prefer that.
So
Chocolate,
Nikita-
chocolate. Now
what
that you
I can
asked.
tell you is, you know, they're very popular films. So you
Okay.
will, I'm sure you've seen most of them. Now, if you remember, is the
What's
question.
this? A horror film? No, you're not asking horror.
No,
General
so
films.
basically, this is about films which have a possessed object in them. These are all Hollywood films,
Okay,
and
I
they
don't
have a
know this.
possessed object in them, just like that wine cabinet. What is that?
It's a wine
That's
cabinet, yeah,
cabinet. The wine cabinet. All right. The first one is a 1988 film. Your wish is granted. That was the simple message 12-year-old Josh received after guiding a coin into the mouth of Zoltar, the red-eyed mechanical fortune teller in an arcade
Oh, I know
at
this.
Cliffside
Of
Park.
course, I know this.
Which
Should I answer?
Yes.
Big.
Yes.
He's
Have you
going to
seen
know all
Big?
the answers.
But this is not a horror film.
It's not a horror
Tom
film
Hanks.
exactly. It's Tom Hanks. One where he's big. He's really
I've
big.
not
You have-
watched this one. I've not watched
It is
It's millennial,
1988.
yeah.
Yes. To be fair.
Forgiven.
Okay, so this one is a very popular one. I'm just going to say one word, but he's going to get it. It's too easy. VHS tape. The idea behind the horror film franchise is simple. Watch the cursed videotape and you die. It's too easy for him. You guess this one. You watch a cursed videotape and you die a few days later.
Wouldn't know.
The Ring.
The Ring.
You not seen The Ring? Okay.
I've
you don't
not
see horror
seen
films,
it. I've
yeah,
not
I'm
watched
sorry.
these films.
Okay, so the other.
But you must watch The Ring. Highly recommended.
a more
Keep a few
recent
people
one.
with you when you
Try
watch it.
living alone.
Yeah.
That's why I said
I
keep
live
a,
alone,
So do
I said
I.
keep
Why
a
I
few people
keep
with you
away
and watch
from,
it. Keep a few people with you.
Yeah.
So do I. I only watch it with my friends. Like when my girlfriends come home, then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
need a lot of people
Strength in
and the
numbers.
daytime to watch
Yeah.
such kind of films.
I agree with you. Okay, there's a more recent film, Nikita, you might know. It's a 2013 film. This involves a mirror, an antique mirror that supernaturally induces hallucinations. It's a popular
I think
one.
I know this one.
It's a popular film, recent one, 2013. No? You know?
Give me a guess who always starts with?
Yeah.
What word does it start
O.
with? Oculus.
Yes. Oculus. Okay, so this one, it's a very popular one again, but it's an older film, guys, 1988. The evil spirit of serial killer Charles Lee Ray uses a voodoo spell to inhabit a good guy's doll, where he resumes his homicidal spree.
I know this one.
A doll.
Oh, I know this.
looking.
Child's Play.
Okay, so I'll just give you this last one.
Child's
as
Play,
well.
right?
It is
Yeah,
Child's Play,
yeah.
Chucky.
Chucky.
And this one is the Necronomicon, bound in human flesh with words written in blood. The Necronomicon carries the spirits of undead spirits that possess and feast on souls of the living.
Is it Hellraiser?
No, 1981. It's a very popular horror film, beginning of the 80s. So many, it used to
What
play
does it
on
start
Star
with?
movies all the time. E. The two words.
Dead?
Yes, Evil Dead.
Right.
So there's a list of horror films
Now let's
for
do
you
some
to watch.
ice cream rapid fire. Let me make up.
Some social media rapid
I've
fire.
got some love stories.
You
yeah.
would
Yeah.
definitely
Do some
win it.
rom-coms.
Rom-coms.
All right, but next time I'll come up with another game, and let's see if you are going to win that one. But for now, I'm going to wrap this up. A list of horror films there, and I'm waiting to watch this latest unfilmy film from Emraan,
yeah.
Dybbuk.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
guys. Thank you guys.
Cheers.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.